My first rift. In July 2016, I did my first rift event. These are my memories of that experience. I know what you're thinking. He's rushed this video out. My fighting CV. Having played Wurm for nearly a year, fighting was not a priority. It was something I left to helpful neighbours and tower guards. Two exceptions were the village hunting trips, where my short sword decimator amused many a wild critter, and, wait for it, my epic solo battle with Rocky the Rooster. In short, my fighting skills were around 20, and when I went into my local area, the hens got nervous, but the rest of the wildlife tried to savage me. System chat announced that a rift had opened. Normally I tend to avoid events as they divert time from my current Wurm project, and game shinies don't usually appeal to me. However, this time the urge to attend the event was irresistible. Fellow villager Anna, a great lover of game shinies, decided to join me on this adventure. Thus the dynamic duo was born. Any resemblance to a similar sounding team is purely coincidental. Honest, you can trust me. Food, water and healing supplies were gathered from the village stores and placed into the battle wagon. Well, actually large cart, but large cart does not sound very adventurous, so I employed a poetic license. No, it's not lying. From chat we got more information. We learned it's best to take a tent, so the option to respawn at the tent location would appear in the resurrection menu. Great tip. To get the exact rift position, we checked the forum, and sure enough, someone had posted the coordinates and the Xanadu map with a large X on it. Using my real-life map reading skills, I planned a route to the event. A great route plan, I'm sure you'll agree. What could go wrong? Well, I did not know that somewhere in this area is the Dark Valley. Imagine a Bermuda Triangle meets a Hotel California situation. It's easy to get into, but you can never leave, and things just disappear. As we entered the Dark Valley, there were no warning signs or other indications that we were in any danger. Needless to say, 3 minutes later, we were being chased by every beast in the zone. I headed north at a very vigorous pace, only to find a valley too steep to escape. After trying all sides, I realised I was trapped. To cut a long story short, 3 hours later, we're still alive and being chased by a horde of mobs. The goddess Benora finally intervened, allowing us to escape. The wild horde howled in disappointment. The remainder of the journey was relatively uneventful, as the direction to the rift was indicated by corpses of various animals. By the time we arrived at the rift camp, it was dark o'clock, in game time and in real life. Surprisingly, everybody was busy building. My plan had been to arrive, pitch tent, log off, and sleep. So why was everybody working? After chatting in local, we got more information about the rift enemies. If they came across unprotected items, they had a tendency to destroy them. This included tents, carts, wagons and farm animals. So everything had to be protected by a lockable gate or door, as they had the ability to open them. This new information created 2 problems for me. First, I had to stay online well past my bedtime. Secondly, my tools were safely stored in my village and I really was not in a mood to go back and fetch them. A friendly Wurmian volunteered to make a starter set for us. This took over an hour, so in the meantime we foraged for iron and other materials to make some crude tools. Eventually I logged off and got some much needed rest. Next day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I helped build our battle camp, and here's the result. safe respawn point, a safe house, a safe paddock for the horses. Future risks, we just built a large pen to keep our gear safe. But for a first try we were very happy with the result. Then we set about exploring the Rift camp. The battle area had been cleared of trees, a mine had been opened so people could gather rocks and iron. A safe zone for the defenders had been built which contained a tower, so no matter how bad the fog of war got, the way home could be found speedily. Another great idea. As 0 hour approached, the excitement increased. Everyone was in an upbeat mood and ready to repel 3 waves of Rift monsters. My personal survival strategy was to hack, slash and chop till my health got to 50%, then make my way to a safe house and heal up. On the 3rd wave I was surprised that I had not died. Looking back, I really wish that thought had not entered my head. Guess what happens next? Yes, the death animation appeared on my screen. But on a positive note, I discovered the 10th respawn point worked perfectly. I went to my spare horse. Unfortunately, my rope had not stayed in my inventory on resurrection. This forced me to make a nail-biting journey to the defender's safe zone. On a second positive note, my daily laxative dose was not required. Eventually, I found my corpse. Unfortunately, it was being camped on by a few Rift bar stewards. By the time I got to it and gathered my spare horse, the 3rd wave was practically over. However, I was still rewarded with a glimmer steel lump, some metallic liquid, and a bunch of achievements. I was happy with my first Rift experience. In summary, even if you're not an event person, it's a good break from skill grinding. But there is opportunity to skill. Arrive early to help prepare the camp and battle area, and get some wood chopping, mining, digging, carpentry and fighting skills. Some tips. Allow yourself plenty of time to get to the event. No way to predict what adventures you'll have on the way. Bring a basic set of tools and some materials to make a safe place for yourself. Everything can be stored in your tent during the fighting. Ensure your fences and doors are locked, but permissions are set to allow fellow fighters to enter in case of emergencies. As Murphy's Law states, the more urgently you need healing, the greater the chance the priest will be on a cooldown break. Give the event a try, I'm sure you'll have a good time.